Hey guys, welcome to Series World. Today I'm going to explain a mystery thriller series called Behind Her Eyes from 2021. Turn on subtitles and spoilers ahead. The fourth episode opens with Louise sleeping in a bed in the middle of a beautiful field. She wakes up and sees Adam trying to catch tadpoles in a pond in front of her. Louise joins Adam to help him. In her dream, David is also there, making barbecue and calling them to eat together. Later, Louise and David make love in their house. Louise wakes up in the morning in a very good mood and enjoys the rest of her morning. Meanwhile, Adele is seen having tea in her garden when David arrives and insists she take her pills. He tells her he'll call at 11:30 and leaves for work. After David leaves, Adele begins to sob. Flashbacks show Adele and Rob chatting. Rob is smoking, and Adele worries that the staff will catch them, which might result in them staying an extra month. Rob doesn't want to leave because he has no place or person to return to, unlike Adele, who has David. He's also worried they won't be friends outside. Adele assures him that won't happen and they'll always be there for each other. In the present, Adele is sipping tea when Anthony arrives at the doorstep looking for David. Adele opens the door and tells him he can't speak with David now. Anthony notices Adele's black eye and becomes concerned. He asks if David caused it. Adele doesn't clarify and only gives a hesitant smile. The scene changes to Adele meeting Louise to go to the gym. Louise also asks about the black eye, and Adele repeats the cupboard story she told David. Louise seems doubtful but doesn't press further. Adele suggests they go for a run instead of the gym. They take a long run in the park and later rest in the field. Adele asks Louise if she's been able to have lucid dreams. Louise describes her dream from the previous night and how she found the door. She thanks Adele for changing her life. Adele responds that it's nothing much and hopes Louise might change her life someday too. The scene shifts to Louise arriving at the office, where Sue tells her about a drama unfolding in Dr. Sharma's office. Anthony's parents are there after hearing about David from Anthony. Sharma calls David into his office. After speaking with Anthony's parents, Dr. Sharma confronts David, who denies all accusations and insists Sharma call Adele for confirmation. Adele clears things up, explaining it was just a kitchen accident. She didn't mention Anthony's visit because she didn't want him to get in trouble for seeking help. Later, David demands an explanation from Adele about Anthony's visit. Adele says she didn't want Anthony to face consequences and swears she'd never seen him before. Unsatisfied, David grows upset. Adele, arranging flowers, tells him to pick one or she'll scream. David quickly picks one and storms out, heading straight to Louise's house with a bottle of alcohol. David pours himself a glass casually. Louise asks what happened earlier at the office. David denies hitting Adele. Louise hesitates because David shuts down whenever Adele is mentioned. David explains he does so because Adele is the only good thing in his life, and he doesn't want Louise tangled in his mess. Louise advises him to figure things out. David then leaves. That night, Louise has the same peaceful dream and finds the door again. This time, she decides to cut off David. While enjoying time with Adam, another door appears. Louise opens it and wakes up. She sits down with Rob's notebook. Rob writes about how much he cares for Adele. She's always been protected and lacks a sense of danger around people. Rob doesn't trust David to care for Adele and vows to always look out for her. The scene shifts to Adele in bed, trying to sleep while the stove is on. She falls asleep, and a door appears in her dream. She opens it and goes somewhere. Meanwhile, Louise and David talk. David apologizes for burdening her the previous night and confesses he's falling in love with her. He promises to sort out his mess. Adele wakes up sobbing, calling David's name. Back at the office, Louise tells David his behavior is unfair and leaves while Adele screams in bed. Later, Adele is seen working out at the gym. As she leaves, she gets a guest membership for Louise. She meets Anthony in the park. He's hesitant, but Adele reassures him he did the right thing by standing up for her. She asks if he brought the drugs and pays him. Back home, Adele stores the substances in her special box with her cigars and syringes. A flashback shows Rob visiting Adele's castle. She gives him a tour of the expensive furnishings and art. Rob jokes about selling them to fix his life. They enjoy wandering until Adele brings him to her parents' charred room, where they died. Emotional, Adele is comforted by Rob as they sit by the fireplace. They chat and smoke. Adele tells Rob he can't smoke in the house because David will disapprove. Rob refuses to quit. In the present, Adele is cooking when the landline rings. David answers and learns about the gym's guest membership for Louise. Shocked, he checks Adele's phone and finds messages between her and Louise. Enraged, he storms out and confronts Louise, He demands an explanation for her actions, showing her the texts. Louise explains she bumped into Adele near Adam's school and couldn't reject her friendship, especially since her relationship with David wasn't serious then. She also pitied Adele's loneliness. David tells her she knows nothing about his marriage and to stay out of it. Louise angrily accuses him of abusing Adele and controlling her money. David fires her on the spot and tells her to submit her resignation to Dr. Sharma. The next morning, Louise is in Dr. Sharma's office, sobbing. David watches as Sharma suggests a hiatus instead of quitting. Louise insists on leaving due to a family emergency. She packs her things and storms out. Sue tries to console her, but Louise is inconsolable. She goes to Adele's house in the pouring rain, banging on the door. Peeking through the window, she sees Adele slumped unconscious on the couch. Louise breaks in and shakes Adele awake. Adele struggles to stand. Louise helps her to the table. Adele apologizes for Louise losing her job, though she'd asked her to keep their friendship secret. Louise says it's not just that and tries to confess the affair. Adele's head falls back, and Louise catches her, asking what's wrong. Adele explains about the medicines David forces her to take. Louise checks them and realizes they're strong sedatives and antidepressants, not simple anxiety medication. She asks when this started, and Adele mentions David's affair in Brighton with a woman named Marianne. Louise asks why she didn't leave. Adele explains David has files on her mental history and could ruin her life. She just wants him to love her again. A flashback shows Adele and Rob wandering near a well in the forest. Adele recalls visiting it as a child. They chat, with Rob saying he'd love to live there forever, while Adele disagrees. In the present, David returns home and asks Adele if she really didn't know Louise. Adele says it's a small town, and she met her like anyone else. David is exhausted and asks why this keeps happening. Adele comforts him, saying he must let go of the past to move on. She goes to make tea. The scene cuts to a flashback of the well, where the camera slowly reveals a body, Rob's, with David's watch on his wrist. The episode ends on this shocking note. To watch more explanations of these kinds of series, click on the videos on your screen. And don't forget to let me know how you feel about today's video in the comments down below. And at last, thanks for watching.